Whew! Time for a little bit of Jimi Hendrix. All Along the Watchtower. Coming up. Let's do this. Welcome back, everyone. We are going to dive straight into this because we've got a lot of work to get through, okay? This is going to be as close to Jimmy's riffs and solos as I can get them for you. And I've spent ages going through them all, so hopefully this is of some use. Now, tone-wise, I'm going for my tumness, a little bit of dirt on that, neck pickup, and a little bit of dirt on my amp. So this is what my amp sounds like. And this is with the tumness. And then for the solos, I'm going to add my OCD. There's the tones. Strap in, let our musical journey commence. Now, the backing to this is two acoustic guitars, one kind of 6-string and a 12-string, I believe. But these are the chords, and there's only 3 chords in this song, believe it or not. Amazing, really, what you can do with that. And they go like this. The solo comes in, right? So you're starting off on the 6th fret. You're going to be playing basically between the dots on the 6th fret. Just a major chord, 2 of those, and then up 2 frets to C minor shape. Okay, so you just take that middle finger off. 2 again on the 6th fret. Slide down 2 frets. So that's it. Okay, so when you're here, you're playing 2. When you're here or here, you're playing 3. Into the solo. Let's do that. I just played it through in the intro section you just heard, but let's do it again. Now let's break that down into chunks for you. So, first bit. Pretty straightforward. It's just a kind of bluesy little lick. In fact, most of these are bluesy licks. Sliding up to the 12th fret, then a series of bends. And they're quite staccato, okay? Then you do, for the next phrase, then you're going to do this slowly. Which is a very quick bend and release. So big rundown, and then you're going to do this grace note slide. So you start on the 10th fret, and as soon as you pluck the note, you slide up to the 12th fret. Then back down to the 10th. And I would pick all of those. Then you're going to play this. Variation on a theme, basically. You're starting on the 10th fret on the D string. Then this bend. So bend, release, bend. So pick those 3. Then there's this last riff. And to do that, you're going to need to flatten your first finger on this 8th fret. Forgive me if I'm going quickly, we've got so much stuff to go through in this, there's loads to it. So just rewind back and hopefully that'll be enough for you to pick it up. I don't want to labour them too much, but anyway, you're going to play. At that point there, you've got to be thinking about flattening your finger on the 8th fret there, okay? Just on the G and B string, so you can play that bit, which is a triplet hammer-on pull-off, and then the bend. Now at that point you can abandon covering those 2 strings, okay, to do the bend. But you don't have to, so up to you, whatever's easier. might find that you need to slightly change the position of your hand and bring your thumb to the back of the neck of the guitar, because that's going to make that movement easier, okay? The flattening of your first finger. But when you go back to the... You don't need to actually. Up to you, whatever you find comfortable. But if you're struggling with thumb over the top, then drop your thumb back to the kind of middle of the back of the neck, okay? And then you do this. And then we're into the verse section. Now the verse section is cool. Again, you've got two guitars playing this, but they're just playing this. Okay, so there's a slight bit more of a lilt to it. So first chord is the C minor. I mean, it sounds much bigger with the 12 string, but it's quite a deliberate sort of rake down the strings, okay? So you're not playing... Okay, you're playing... Okay, so you're playing a whacker and then two, okay? Now, there are a load of variations in the next bit, but you'll see a theme developing for the first riff, okay? It's mainly... and then a fill, okay? So rather than playing the full chord, Jimmy is using his thumb to go between the root notes to outline those, but then it leaves his fingers free to do some kind of noodly stuff, okay? So you're not playing a lot on the A string when you're doing the chord bits, okay? Apart from in the first phrase, actually. So you pick out the kind of D and G string. Okay, now, fills. First one is one of the trickiest, actually, so here we go. Okay, that's the first one. And it's tricky. I'm using my little finger to do the... because I just find it easier than... Don't know why, it just seems a bit quicker. But up to you whether you do little finger or middle finger for that bit. Now, the first riff... That's the same in a lot of this. But then he's going to have a little pause there. There. Okay, let's have a look at that slowly. Alright. And that's the trickiest bit, but it does mix up the rhythm, and it's not going to be something he's consciously done. He's just a groovy cat. So a note on that lick. You're going to need to abandon your thumb off there, okay? But you've got 4 of these. Then you're going to move up here to the 6th fret on the E string. That's one beat. So let's play that round slowly. 2, 3, 4. It's just awesome. Anyway, hopefully that helps. Riff 2. So you're starting with this. Not. Okay, so a subtle variation already. Then you go straight down to the 6th fret. So there's no rest there, okay? Then there's this riff, again on the 6th fret. Okay, so that through slowly. Just so silky, aren't they? Man, such a signature bit of his style. It's just gorgeous. hopefully I'm not destroying it too badly. Okay, so try and get that in there. There's a load of feel in it too that I'm probably not putting into it because I'm struggling just to play the notes. Third riff, we start to see this pattern, okay? And then a fill. So if you're gonna just learn one way to play it, learn this. And then chuck in whatever fills you want to learn, okay? So this one goes... Okay, that's this fill, so... Alright, let's do that slowly. Then you go to the first fret on the E string, then up to the 6th fret on the A string, and I'm kind of bridging the two A and D string there, playing a double stop with a hammer on. Alright, that slowly, and then to speed. So you need to move around the fretboard quite quickly with this one, right? Now you've got a slight issue because when you go, you need to start the next riff again. That's the first note of the next phrase, but you're not using your thumb anymore, you're on your first finger there. He might use his thumb actually. If you want to do that, then by all means do that. Feels weird to me. Yeah, strange. Anyway, what I do is this. So I start playing with my first finger and then I rotate my wrist around, okay? So that bit, I've gone back to my normal position, alright? So then I can play the riff after that. You may have a different way of doing it. That is how I do it. Next riff goes like this. Okay, slight variation in the rhythm there, okay? So you're playing an extra before you go into the fill. But again, he slightly varies it by playing, rather than going, he's going to the root this time. Okay, so that's slowly. Alright, and you'll hear that a lot later. With the double stop slide as well. But this is the first introduction of it, okay? I generally slide up from the 8th to the 10th on the A string with my second finger. So I've got my first finger to hit the 8th fret on the 10th on the G string. To do that slide up and slide down, okay? So it's... Alright, so... Awesome. Then we're into what in my head was the main kind of phrase that I always heard in this song, okay? Now, something that Frusciante does a lot is this fill is extended into the next chord, okay? So rather than going back to the... he plays this. Let me try and play those, link those two together, okay? This could be disastrous. Okay, so we made it. Woo! Which is copied quite a lot by a lot of guitarists. And just extending that phrase into the next next chord is just awesome. So, slowly. No, you're playing the 10th fret there, another slight variation. Then you're going down again. That's pretty straightforward, but remember this next lick goes... So 1, 2... There's another fill after that, it's pretty relentless, okay? So then you've got this... Okay? So that little fill there at the end is just pretty straightforward. But it's just tagging it together with all this. Right, if that wasn't enough, there's another one coming after that. Then there's this wicked fill which goes. That's just so Jimi Hendrix. Alright, which is lovely. So that's pretty much the same. But then you're going to play triplet, hammer on, pull off. So think of this in kind of two sections. Then, okay, so then a slide from the kind of 8th fret-ish to the 10th fret. And then that nice double stop slide, okay? Alright, that slowly. And then after that, there's no fill. Then you're into solo number 2. I think on the album he's using like the middle pickup. So I think he's using one of the other pickup selectors there, but just for ease, I'm going to go for the bridge pickup. And that goes through like this. I'll try and play it to speed. Now I fluffed that last bit, but we can skip over that, alright? So let me go through it again. So I'm having to look over here because I just can't remember it all. Starting off with the unison bend. That's the first phrase. Pretty straightforward. Deliberately quite kind of messy, okay? So unison bend on the 8th fret and the 11th fret. Quite a deliberate and slowish bend. So you're not going straight, it's more of a... Okay? So you get that nice dissonant sort of noise in between. Then you're going to play... Okay, just as per the tab. Then there's this run. Those bends are all full bends. Just a lovely pentatonic run. Grace note slide there. Then these bends. Now this next bend is 1.5. Alright, so you're bending it up 3 frets effectively, or 3 semitones. Then you've got this. Okay, so. Alright. So that little chunk again. I would move your finger there down 2 frets to play that bend, because then you're going to play. Alright, and then you're into another verse. So that little run is awesome as well. It might give you a bit of difficulty that, but from the okay, that's just pentatonic stuff. Then there's this run. That's easy enough. Then you're going to need to play this. And I would break this into each beat, okay? So you're going to play for the first bit, then the next bit is. So that is. But that bend at the end, you're going going to need to play that quickly, okay? So slowly. Okay, whichever you want to play that. So, let me try and play that at speed. Okay, so it's a little unusual. That tricky bit there is. Which is really Jimi Hendrix signature stuff, isn't it? Okay, next up. I don't think he comes straight in. I think he comes in after a beat and a half. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, just plays that. Little slide. I'm going to blast through these last few fills because there's another solo bit to do. But essentially, the first part of it will always be. Okay, that's the beginning of the next part. So, first fill. Pretty straightforward, actually. Just a nice variation. Right, next. Alright, that was a bit messy, but... So straight to this. So slowly, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that again. 3, 4, 1. Really nice, just a nice variation that. Okay, so slowly. I think I put in an extra note there. Never mind. Next one's quite easy. Very melodic as well. And then back in again, okay? So that slowly. And then back around again, okay? So you're just sliding up to the 8th fret on the A string. Okay, next one's really awesome, really solid kind of riff. It's great, isn't it, that one? Now you're going to slide up to the 8th fret, okay? So that is a double stop triplet hammer-on pull-off. Mike does this loads. Then you're going to do a hammer-on the next 2 strings down. And then that little double stop fill at the end. Just to bring it together. Lovely. Next fill's lovely. I'm not entirely sure it's played where I'm playing it, but it sounds similar to me, and that goes like this. Alright, you could actually play that up here. Makes more sense to, I think, but on the listening to the album, I do hear that it sounds more like that than. Either way, you have 2 options there, so either play it from the 6th fret or from the 1st fret on the A string. Up to you. This next one I'm not a fan of, but here it is anyway. And then you're going to play 2, 3, 4, 1. Play that one if you want. I'm leaving that one out. Okay, and the other one is. Then you are into the next solo. Now that last one is just. Alright, now this one's I'm a bit iffy on, okay? It's basically. So that is just a unison bend. You play like sort of 6 of them, I think. But it's So 3 bends, but with this rhythm. Okay? Okay, and then which is another 3 semitone bend, or 1.5 step bend. Okay, so so from that bit, okay, then you're going to play. Okay, then you're going to do this series of bends. That's really cool, man. So from that last 3 bars, and then you've got that slide bit. I'm going to leave that out for now, or we will be here all night. Now the next bit's got some wah, or some wah, which goes like this. Now you could do this as octaves actually, which is 11, 13, 15, 18. Then there's this riff, which is awesome. I can barely play it. That's about as good as I can get, I think. Slowly, that is. Okay, so you're gonna have to rewind that bit because this video is already really long. But to get it to speed, and that with no worries. Brilliant with the wah though. The next bit, I'm just gonna have to play slowly for you because I'm kind of running out of time here. So the next part is this like that sounding bit, but here's the note slowly, okay? And then the first beat of the bar is, and then there's this run at the end. It's just lovely. Slowly, that is. Hopefully that's enough for you. Then you've got this. Okay, then there's this awesome melodic little riff which goes. And then the second time round. So that slowly. Just a pull off and some double stops. Pretty straightforward, that one. Now you're just playing some octaves essentially with a double stop. But you're muting the G string. And then you're putting. And I think that is what makes me think he's probably detuned it, because that's probably easier to go to play it here. I can imagine that Hendrix would probably do that. But anyway, this is how it's tabbed. So that is just sliding up to the 8th fret, and then the 6th fret with this. Something like that anyway. And then the second time round he does the a lot of wacka wackas in there. So that through. That's that basically. Then there's a run up with some unison bends that go. And then he's back into the All Along the Watchtower bit. Okay, so that is just what, 8th fret, 10th fret, 11th fret. 13th, 15th. Okay, so for the last part, I'm just going to show you the fills very, very quickly. You're going to be playing for each of these, but they go like this: 2, 3, 4, 1, which is pretty basic. It's just a and then a slide, and that old familiar chestnut. You can actually play it down here if you wish. Next one just goes, so that's 2, 3, 4, 1, and that slowly. Then the next one's well simple. It just goes 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That's an easy one, even I can't mess that up. Next one just goes 3, 4. Okay, penultimate one. 3, 4, 1. It's quite nice, that one. Last one I'm not particularly sure about at all, but I think it goes. Not sure I got that right, but anyway. Play that one if you want. I don't think that one sounds particularly nice, and it's tricky to play as well, so even if you nail it, still doesn't sound all that awesome. And then you're into some unison bends for the end, okay? So it's just the 8th fret to the 10th fret. And I think that's it. I think we're done. And if we're not done, we are done, because I'm done. So thank you very much for bearing with me. I don't know if any of you made it to the end. See you on another lesson soon. Cheers then, bye bye.